In this digital age, where the world is at our fingertips, we're dreamers, we're believers, reaching for the stars, yeah. With AI by our side.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Kello Herod, and you are at the Academy. Welcome to class. How have you all been? I mean, come on, let's be real. This has been such an exciting time in the world of artificial intelligence. I mean, we've had so many models that have been released, and with every single innovation, with everything that happens, we move further and further into the future that we really want. And that is one where we have complete control as creatives. And one of the major parts of doing this thing we call publishing, that is self-publishing, is trying to figure out how, where, what niche we fit into. How are we, what in the world are we even doing in this genre? Are we making up some weird genre that nobody wants to read? You know, all of that stuff. So what I want to do today is I want to have, I affectionately call them the three queens of the Academy. One of those queens is Stacie. And Stacie has been publishing for literally years. But I don't want to get into that crazy, like, I'm going to introduce you to her and tell you about her when we can have her tell you about her. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I bring Stacy Anderson onto the show today. Today is a great day in the day of AI, don't you think, Stacy?
See, you say you don't want to tell them about me, but just in your voice, like I could have you talking about me and I would just sit there and fall asleep to your like deep voice. I would have you read the phone book to me, Kello.
I have to tell you, at some point about 6 months ago, I remembered that I had a very good friend of mine had this beautiful studio on the East Coast, and he passed away, and he left me this microphone, and I just had not wanted to use it. And I started using it right before I stopped really doing a bunch of stuff on my old channel, and I realized I sound so good.
You sound to me like I have a typical female voice, which is kind of high pitched. I'm from New York, so it's kind of nasal to begin with. So I kind of want to hear me talk, and I want to hear you too. Like, I was going to send it all over to you next time.
Let's be real. Who are you? Who are you? What is it that you do at the Academy?
Okay, well, my name is Stacy Anderson. I've been publishing since I think I officially published my first story in 2015. So post Gold Rush. I remember thinking in 2015, like, oh, the Gold Rush is over. We've all missed it. It's too late.
Gold Rush.
I know, the 2011 Gold Rush. But
and then everybody came in there, and the people who stuck really did stick.
But I have never published under my actual name because I am not even the only Stacy Anderson in my zip code. Like, this other woman keeps taking all my shoe points at the shoe store because there's two of us, and they track your points by name and zip code. And
no.
It's okay. I don't buy that many shoes, so she's welcome to them. But
you're way more centered than my wife would be.
Oh, at the wine store, I'm sure to use my phone number though, because I gotta keep those points.
You gotta keep it. I want my free alcohol.
Yeah, those are some real points I'm racking up.
Hi, Plumestone. How you doing? And who else is there? Oh, Mel's there. Hey, Stacy. That's exactly how I imagine that happening. And then Dana writes, Danny O'Wrights is what I meant to say. Well, thank you, everybody who has decided to come here, hang out with us.
Danny.
And say what?
Said we got another Danny.
Yo. Yo. What's up, man? And Dan's are where it's rain and Dan's. Before we get a copyright strike, I better stop singing. All right. So Stacie, I have to tell you, it's difficult for me because every time I explain the story to one of my friends that I want to do, I never explain the military sci-fi stuff because it's pretty straightforward. You know, it's either a bug hunt or you're stranded on a planet or you're being sent on a diplomatic mission or you're going to war. those are the scenarios when it comes to military sci-fi. So I don't tell them about that stuff because it's, you know, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you can get really flavorful with it. Curiously, you write military sci-fi yourself. And so she writes it from, if I may say, you write it from a place of expertise, don't you?
I was in the Navy, so for several years. My husband was as well, so we were a dual military family for a little bit. So
I'm going somewhere with this. So you know about the genre. It's just, you know, it's pretty daggone straightforward as long as you decide to add those little pieces of zhuzh, you know, either a romance or some action adventure element to it, or you know, just, you know, a horror. Like I'm writing a military sci-fi horror film right now. That is, I mean, a film. I should just say IP because it's very difficult for me to think of it just as a novel, but that's a completely different ramble for another day. What I'm always worried about, right, is this not falling in the right slot, the right niche, the right place, and then writing that it's this kind of thing, and it ain't that kind of thing. You think it's that kind of thing because you've put those elements in there, but it's actually this other thing, and you have no friggin' clue. So what I'm going to ask you is, before I ask you this question, I'm going to tell you, everyone, that this whole thing is sponsored by the Future Fiction Academy's course. Now, this particular course is called Choosing Your Niche Using AI. It's a new course that came out last month. We had it on sale later in the month, last month, and now we're launching it into the general public so that everybody who missed out on the sale can still understand how incredibly impactful this particular course is. And so we at the Academy, just come on over to the Future Fiction Academy. You can look at a whole bunch of our standalone classes, including the Easy Peasy Book Machine, and even romance outlines with AI. And those things are like really complete and way detailed courses and stuff like that. But the value you are going to get with this specific course is kind of crazy. It's not even like I'm trying to pitch it or anything like that. I'm just going to say that having a good grasp of how you prompt, what information you get, how much data you get, what kind of data you get, how you use that data with the AIs, all of this stuff, we try our best to make easily accessible and actionable. So come on over to thefuturefictionacademy.com and check out the course that we are literally going to be chatting about today. Not going to be teaching you the course because that would be foolish, but we will definitely have a conversation about the things that you will be able to get out of this course. So choosing a publishing niche using AI. Come on over, get it, $99. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's the question I have for you with all of that buildup. Okay. How in the world, what is it that made you, how did you even figure out how to go about tackling this issue? The issue of genres, and how did you even start down this path? Because I pride myself on being an imaginative dude. you know, but but the imagination to come up with how you were going to use artificial intelligence to do this, I just explain this to me.
Well, this is honestly, I'm not imaginative either. This is just one of the classes or one of the questions that keeps popping up over and over and over in the Mastermind Lab. How do I find my niche? How do I know I'm hitting the niche? Or my subgenre? I use those words kind of interchangeably. So just basically, how do I know I'm hitting the tropes, the reader expectations, everything that I should be inside of either my sub niche or subgenre, down to
all right, so
what my readers expect.
So for everybody, for the rest of this conversation, when she says niche, that when she says niche, that is the sub niche, that is the niche. Okay, if she says subgenre, that is also the niche.
Yes.
Okay, so she's gonna, you're gonna
gonna
go
use
on a
them
little ride, and I want y'all
interchangeably.
to all be prepared for. Okay, now because this will be actually viewed at a later point,
Yeah.
and so I want to make sure they understand where we're going. Now, go ahead.
Yep. Good luck following me sometimes, but
But you were saying,
yeah, it is, the class name is a bit of a misnomer. So it's not only choosing a niche, but it's also, once you have one chosen, how do you make sure you are in that niche, staying within it? Because as you pointed out with military sci-fi, I've seen so many authors and writers, it's one of my favorite subgenres, and especially my husband's as well. A lot of writers will veer into space opera, or from space opera into military sci-fi. Not bad. That's not a bad thing. You can very successfully go from one to the other,
and
but
actually
how
have
to know
very deep aspects of both things happening. And
both.
yes, and we enjoy it, but
How to know maybe which one's a little hotter right now. So which one should you be leaning into? Which one should you be putting your marketing into? Leaning in for the blurb. So this is for the marketing side, and even in your editing phase. So if you found one is really on the upswing right now, military sci-fi is getting hot right now, then just a few tweaks in the book and leaning into it with your blurb and cover, boom. That could be the difference between, 100 sales and 1,000 sales in your first 90 days, something like that. I'm just making up numbers, but I mean, just hitting the correct categories can be a big difference.
So this thing, it kept coming up. and you're like, we need to be able to tackle this in some type of logical way and figure out a way that we can get over this hump. It is a publishing hump. I'd like all of you to know that officially, Stacie is one of my favorite people in the entire world, because she was there step by step, walking me with my hand. I was holding her. I was literally holding her hand.
My virtual hand.
As I was walking through my KDP publishing of my first novel. And I'm telling you, she knows she knows exactly what genre. It was weird because we got to that spot and you were like, oh, no. What is this? And then we talked about the story for like a half a second. She said, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. And I was like, okay. And I put them in those spots. And so so it struck me as like very logical. What I thought actually that Steph had done this course. We were in the meeting. I said Steph, because it felt like a like a step-by-step thing. And then I found out that you did it, and I was like, oh no. There's gonna be she's gonna hold your hand. And she's going to walk you through this thing. We just had a recent course that you put up, that is about innate and basics. We are deeply, just so you all know, we are deeply into these tools that help us in a logical way of sequencing things when we're doing all kinds of things with our marketing, our publishing, our all of it. And in this process, you sometimes need hand-holding through these things. This specific thing is so difficult. It's so difficult to figure out exactly which genre you are actually in the first place. I mean, to be able to, you're going to have I assume in the course there's somewhere where you get an opportunity to kind of analyze your own writing, figure out what in the world you're even putting out there to the world, that sort of thing.
Yep. Huh. So, yeah, we go through, we analyze, I show you how you can use, there's a few instances where I show you where you can use paid tools, but I also give you options for where you can use free tools for everything. So I show you options like Kindle Trends, K-Lytics, everything like that. But I also show you a free Chrome extension where I also show you paid Chrome extensions, but a free Chrome extension where you can download Top 100 in just a text format, and then you can upload that into like ChatGPT or Claude. I believe you can upload text formats for free if you don't have a pro subscription, and then it can go through and analyze based on subtitles, subtitles, descriptions. What are some of the popular tropes, especially in romance? A lot of times to get visibility and seen, they'll say a enemies to lovers book, this or this book. They'll put a lot of that in an alien invasion book or whatever book. So you can pull out a lot of that very quickly from this text format and start pulling out a lot of information on metadata just from the top 100 or from also bots of popular books. So,
and she'll give you specific actionable tools. So what I want you all to do is go over to the Future Fiction Academy and see for yourself the value of our choosing a publishing niche using AI. And it's only $99. So it's one of those kind of moments where I realized as I'm going through, because I was preparing for this video today, or actually yesterday. I was preparing for the video yesterday. That's when I put the whole package up and all that stuff. And so in the preparation for it, as I'm going through the blurbs and talking points and trying to figure out what I'm going to do, I'm looking at things and going, oh my gosh, I really need to look at this course to make sure the next time I actually work on something specific that I know where I'm leaning into, what I'm leaning into. I'm thinking, what am I leaning into? Am I leaning into romance? Am I leaning into, because y'all, I'm serious. Those romance books, they no joke. They make the money. And sometimes,
and the readers are some of the best educated out there, as in terms of what they like. Like, you ask a science fiction reader what their favorite tropes are, and maybe they'll know it, maybe they won't, maybe they'll go, what's a trope? Like, nothing against it, but you ask a romance reader what their favorite tropes are, they will rattle them off. They will correct you if you are incorrect on labeling your own book on what trope it is. Oh, no, that is not a contract lover. That is this or that. Like, they know. They are voracious. They are well educated on, they know their stuff. They are not to be trifled with, and do not go in there without knowing your stuff. Like,
see, and so that's why I've been really excited about this. I kind of wish we had an opportunity to do it last month, but I was in Europe, so there was no opportunity. I'm sorry, I was in Europe, and it was so hard to get any work done at all. So I was actually, everyone knew that I was gone, and everyone kept seeing me post all of my pictures and stuff like that. It was
Paris
fun. And Paris was so beautiful, such a beautiful, wonderful experience. But I digress, because it's all, I used to be an actor, everyone, so it's always about me. Anyway, that's the joke I use. I love to, because I was an actor. I can tell you for a fact that there are a lot of people that are like that. I love them. I love them all for it. I really do.
Also in this course, I really dive into Perplexity AI, which, if you're not using it, this is also a perfect opportunity, if nothing else, to dive into that software. And if you're not using it for deep research, it is one of the most overlooked AI softwares, I believe, for deep research. I even choose it for some applications over ChatGPT, over Claude. Like, it is amazing. And it has free Akello, you need to check it out. Akello, perplexity.ai.
I'm not skeptical. I'm just, I don't know why I'm not into Perplexity. It's always felt to me like, oh goodness, another thing that I would have to subscribe to in order to get the best out of it. And
you can do 3 deep researches a day for free on the free plan. You can filter a lot better. So you can filter out just academic research, which I believe you could do on chat as well, but it will lean heavier into social media platforms, which Chat and Claude don't. They seem to purposely filter those out, which can be good if you're trying to get factual information. But if you're trying to get social trends, as in what books are trending, what is trending on social media, like, I asked about certain genres, or I asked about certain books, or certain trends, and it would look up, though, if I asked about a book, it would look it up, or I was looking up book reviews, and I gave it an example on Amazon.
Yeah.
It pulled it up on Amazon, Goodreads, Reddit, and pulled them all up together and packaged those, and then went out and found it on small blog sites. So it can pull together a lot more of the social aspects, which, again, if you're looking for academic information, can bring in a lot of misinformation, which is why ChatGPT, OpenAI, Claude might filter those out. But if you're looking for social inspiration, social trends, that is invaluable, and Perplexity really brings that in much better.
Man.
So if you're looking for information on that course just goes into Perplexity a lot more.
Are there any other cool tools that you go into in the course besides Perplexity?
I use Kindle Trends. The downloader has a free it's the downloader I use. The I forget what it's called.
Is it something with an API call?
No, it's just a Chrome extension, and that's how you can get all the.
Oh,
You have to look it up. I don't even remember the name of it. But that's how you get all the text documents. Now you have to buy the course to find it.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
I
darn.
don't remember the name of it. Also bought downloader. There you go, Mel. saving you from buying the course just for that. So that is a cool tool as well. So, and you can do
That
it
was
with
actually very funny. I was literally about to go, and ladies and gentlemen, at the futurefictionacademy.com, you
you have to
too
buy it to get the
can
name of
get
the
some
downloader,
standalone classes that include choosing a publishing niche. And that way you can find out about that great secret that
the free
Stacie
tool that Stacie
had.
can't remember.
Stacie just cannot remember. Anyway, but all right, everyone, that is the kind of the long and the short of what the course is. Stacie, here's one for you. How would you use this as a person who is how would you use this course to your best advantage if you were, say, just starting out in this kind of, not even AI, just self-publishing sort of way of kind of conducting your own business? Remember, ladies and
Honestly,
most of the people who work in the United States work in small businesses, not gigantic corporations. And so this is like an important kind of foundational thing that helps you really key into what you should write. It's like so important. You know what I mean? It's like so important what you should write. Should you write to market? I've got to tell this story. We're at Author Nation. You remember that night that we all went out? Jason had a table over here at this restaurant. Somebody else had a table over there. And I was with this other couple, and one of them was an author. And I sit down, never met this man before. And I am going to have dinner with these two people that we never met before. And I start asking him about his publishing journey. He, like a lot of people who go to Author Nation, has never published. And he proceeded to tell me about his story. It was a beautiful story that literally had no genre, whatsoever that you could ever like attach it to, but a beautiful story. You know what I mean? A beautiful story. I'm like, oh. And it was beautiful, but I could not pinpoint whether it was sci-fi, whether it was fantasy. It had some Asian, Japanese sort of trope elements to it. And so there was some of that also, And so I would have loved for him, if he's actually watching, I can't remember his name at the moment, but if he's actually watching this right this second, how would he use this to find, what would be the thing that he would do? What's the thing he needs to look at in the course to specifically help him figure out what that thing is?
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a two-pronged to your question.
I love it.
First, even if I'm the one teaching the class, like me, Steph, Elizabeth, and everybody in the FFA, like I'm not this isn't all mine. This isn't mine. Usually I'm putting it together from what has been taught. I just happen to be the person that sat down to collect it together. So,
credit where credit is due.
Credit where credit is due. This is a group effort. I just happen to be the introvert. So I am perfectly happy sitting in front of a computer, and I tend to be the preschool teacher who likes to go through things very slowly. So I am the natural for a lot of the me or Steph for the standalone classes. But for this one, we did take one of Elizabeth's videos, and bless her heart, I took a 60-minute class, and you've seen her on the YouTube channels. There's a lot of digressions, so they're kind of cut out. I cut it down to about 18 minutes or so. But she goes through and shows just how to do it the old-fashioned way, or by hand, or just going through the Amazon store and how you would do this
Oh
the
my gosh, I
old-fashioned.
remember that
Mhm.
popping up. Yes.
Because, yep, this is so critical just to know the basic foundations behind this. So you can see like how to do this on your own, how you would go through and measure and see what is a hot category, how to tell just through the Amazon store.
Hmm.
But the benefit of adding AI on top of that is there is a finite number of categories in the Amazon store. They're always adding new ones. Sometimes they're taking them away, but I don't have numbers. We'll say there's a bazillion DE books in the Amazon store. There's a lot, and there's always adding more. The good news about that is there are some really fine niches in there. Like for the example I used in my
Oh,
class,
underserved.
underserved and they're not only underserved, but very fine, like niches that nobody would have written to before just because they are very, it's a small number of people. Like, one of the examples we used in the class was like climate fiction or cli-fi and some other, it's a branch of science fiction, and there was some other names for it where it's
I'm sorry. I'm okay.
yeah. So, and it's very niche, as in there's a small market for it, but it's kind of getting ravenous. So if you learn to write to that, or it's just your natural inclination,
Hmm.
if you kind of got those tropes, even though it's not very big, it's a small market that doesn't have a lot to it. And if you could find those people, so for your person, there might be a niche out there that,
Oh.
or maybe there's something a little closer. Maybe there is Japanese inspired sci-fi. I I can
Oh, there is
imagine. There's
obviously there is,
there is,
but
but
is it the way he explained it? It had lots of
yeah. I mean,
fantasy sort of.
there's
So it's
science
yeah,
fantasy,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like where is that intersection that is the closest? And again, the smaller you get, the harder they are to find and target. And but
But
if
those
you can
people,
find
if
them
you
out
can
there,
find them, they'll
if you
become
can find them, they
loyal.
are crazy bonkers to find books. And even if there's only 10,000 people in the world looking for that book, all
They
10,000 will
might be
buy your
your
book.
10,000 books.
And they are often a tightly knit community telling each other. So if you can find, 5 of them, they're giving out your book.
It'll
It will
blossom.
blossom. So it's finding these communities or finding these weird underground, not weird, that's the wrong word, these unique
Yes,
threads. So
yes.
that could be a niche as well. And that isn't necessarily enough that's not going to get you a number one book, but
It might
you
get you a number one living.
it might get you a number one living. And if these are trends that are growing over time, like I said, climate fiction, or there was some other names for it. I forget because it's in the
Climate.
course.
That's so
But
amazing. I mean,
yeah, and it was
so
kind of the opposite of
specific.
so specific. And as this becomes more in the news, it's possible that it can grow as a sub niche. Just it's kind of the opposite of dystopia, but not utopia. But at any rate, just it can start to grow, become more interest.
Oh,
Maybe people are,
like the whole F1 thing,
yep,
you know?
it could start to take off. Maybe people are tired of doom and gloom in the news and they want to read something a little more
Oh my gosh,
sci-fi where the world's bad, but dear
but
God,
because
science
of the
saves us
science fiction,
finally.
because the sci-fi helps heal the world. I love those sort of I do love those sorts of books.
Yeah, so
That and dog and puppy pit videos. I just
yep. You add a
it's
dog or a cat to something, everybody.
and I've got this rule. If I don't kill the animal, put them in peril, Do all kinds of things you want to do with it, but there is no scenario where you kill that animal. If you kill the animal, you will, and you if you string it out over 3 or 4 books, and that animal's in that, don't kill that
Oh,
animal. Don't ever kill the animal because
I
it'll
don't
just
I don't care if you see the animal like on the other side of like the town. I don't want I don't
don't
want you to think something happened. If you think
right.
something happened to the animal, go check it out and the animal's fine. Like
Because literally those people are there because the animal is there. They're there, they see that thing and they look at the cover and there's an animal. There's a cute dog, cute cat, whatever. You can put that animal in all the peril you want. But that is something that you need to know. You need to know that I'm in this niche. Oh, if I do that, this might happen. And
yeah.
a lot of these esoteric things you end up learning because of this course is that you kind of go, oh, I should not. Oh, I should. Oh,
And
this is what I am.
and you can see how to mine reviews and find out in horror, you could possibly do something to an animal and it would fly. Whereas in cozy mysteries, you even touch a hair on that cat's back and you're flayed.
Yeah, I mean, that is for real. I mean, in horror, especially if you don't, and even in horror, it's like almost a
Yeah.
no-no. It's almost a no-no. You can do it, but it's got to be some rando dog or rando cat that comes in that scene and is eviscerated
Or it's like
immediately
a
or something.
John Wick, the triggering, the inciting incident sort of thing.
Yeah, but
And then
and
John
then
Wick can be as evil as he wants to be because they killed his wife. Okay. Killed the dog the wife gave him. Oh man, go kill. Like
he's like, are you
John
freaking
Wick
kidding?
is forgivable for everything he did because they killed the dog the wife gave him.
Like 4 or 5 movies worth of killing.
I know, just keep killing, man.
Just keeps killing.
You got my blessing to do it.
I'm like, I'm happy Keanu got himself a little franchise right now.
I didn't watch past the first movie, but
I saw him get the puppy and I just turned it off. I was like, no. I still haven't seen the movie, so I'm just like, nah. At some point, this dog dies, and I
don't care. That's all I needed to know.
That's all I need to know. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, spoilers.
Let me see. I just want to make sure I hit things. I did. We talked about why it's important to hit niches today. Yep. Analyzing best. All I did was really just kind of look at this thing and kind of put it in my head, sorta, and we've kind of touched everything. Oh, here's one thing: genre jumping and pen names. Why is this even a thing?
Okay, so I don't really touch on this in the course. That is a personal choice. So I give you enough information so you can choose. But whether you want to, the theory behind it is that readers like their niches. They like to read in their own lanes. So you're generally not going to get a reader that likes both a rom-com and a gory horror. Like they just don't like to read that same, and they like to be able to go to an author and know if I pick out their book, I'm going to get. Now you can signal it is this or that by the cover, by the blurb, but a lot of readers like to just know, oh, I see a Kello Herod. I know I'm getting this. I know I could just one click buy it and I know what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
How far you can branch that out. So if they like your mafia romance, will they also like your paranormal romance? Like how far can you widen that gap?
Yeah.
If they like your sci-fi, will they also like your fantasy? There is crossover there, depending on which type. But every time you add a new pen name, you're adding a lot. You're not a lot. You're adding complexity. You have to, it's more marketing. It's another website. It's another mailing list. There's more you're adding. And again, you don't have to have, as you saw, you don't necessarily need a website. You could just have landing page. Like you can scale down what you have for each pen name, or maybe not do as much for them until they've kind of taken off. But there is still, for each new pen name, there is complexity you're adding.
Now, that is true. That is true. But we have been inside the Academy, and y'all, just so you know, we're the Future Fiction Academy. We're located over at the futurefictionacademy.com. And we have something called the Mastermind. We're going to actually talk a lot about this tomorrow in the live stream. But we have a mastermind, and we have deep discussions, and there are a lot of small groups that we've built in order to do specific things. People who are tackling N8N or sequencing or all of the different technologies that we're trying to tackle. People who are just on the software side, who help develop things like Plot Drive, where they like test all of the stuff that the people over at Plot Drive are building. We've got these deep sort of small groups, and what ends up happening is everyone, and it's not like we're having a group think about it. We are literally trying to all formulate our own opinions of what we're trying to do because of everyone else's opinions. And it helps sharpen your blade in a way that's really kind of difficult to explain to people sometimes. You know what I mean, Stacie? Mm-hmm. And so what ends up happening is we come up with these ideas, especially things about like thinking about genre jumping and pen names and complexity. Someone came up and said, well, why don't we just have a press, like our own press for all of those pen names? And then you could just kind of have them all live in, and that kind of at some point, that was, I don't know, 18 months ago or something. And that kind of nugget is what spurred you all to create the Future Fiction Academy. I mean, what is it?
Press.
The Future Fiction Press.
Yes.
The Future Fiction Press. And it's because you can genre down and niche down, and it helps you do what? Run your business. Mm-hmm. Now, I hate to keep coming back to this, everyone, but when you self-publish, guess what you're doing? You are running your own business. You are thinking about your profits and your losses and your returns on investment and all of those things that lead to a bottom line where you get a little bit of profit at the end of the year. And that profit is your salary. Okay. And so it's important for you to kind of have that specificity of how you're going to deploy each one of these pen names. You create a new pen name to do this thing. Sometimes, and I'm just saying, sometimes, if you are writing about urban experiences and you are wanting to really make an impact in a specific sort of genre, you might want that pen name to reflect the audience for which you're trying to capture. Military sci-fi. There's a lot of specific types of names that are behind military sci-fi. There are a lot of very interesting types of names behind urban fantasy or romantasy or romance, or I'm saying. So it's extremely important, especially if you have multiple interests, to protect your business by knowing which genres and pen names you need to use to write to specific markets. You have to be able to write to markets in order for you to have a business. It's something that regular publishing companies have learned a long time ago.
Yep. And like I said, I am not going to tell you, there are pros and cons to each, like how far you niche out, which one. But if you know where your genre is, you can make an informed decision. So that is the most important part. So I'm not going to tell you, you have to only have a pen name for, your pen name can only have, cowboys that are second chance, wholesome, single dads. And you write anything outside of that, new pen name. Like that is very slim pen name. But then I'm not going to tell you romance is a pen, like where that falls, that is your decision. But where you draw that line, that is an informed decision you want to make.
And what's interesting about pen names, I mean, since we're there, let's just have a wee bit of discussion about it. Pen names are incredibly powerful things because you're a creative. That's why. Because you are creative, and therefore you are going to be forevermore creative. So if that happens and you are bored of writing this thing, you're probably going to want to have a new pen name in order to scratch that itch that is in your soul. And then you can, and if you know what it is that you want to do that's different and how that fits into a specific market, then you can start thinking about the marketing and how the covers and all of that stuff are going to be in the first place. I mean, it's very powerful sort of, tool to have in your back pocket as a business owner. Just hate to keep coming back to that part, but it's one of the main reasons why the mastermind exists, is because there are a bunch of business owners who really want their businesses to actually have some direction and understand how to use this new technology that is called artificial intelligence and how to use it to enhance your businesses. There's so many people that use artificial intelligence in the FFA in completely different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, I dare say, some of them very minimally write with AI. They write themselves, but AI helps them with their edits, helps them enhance their stuff. So they'll write the whole first draft. There's so many different things. Marketing. We have one of the people inside the FFA is working on an innate in workflow that is a marketing brain that you kind of start with a thing and an idea and a blurb, and it's part of the process of writing the book is the marketing as it goes along.
Just the flow is beautiful with that. I've seen it.
And it just, it's an amazing thing to see. But it's all because we're trying to educate ourselves, because we know that at some point, the big boys, the publishers, they are the ones that, really know how to write to market and really know how to find the right genres and really know how to have pen names and ghostwriters and use and they will be using artificial intelligence to create some of these pen names and keep all the profit.
The big publishers were the ones that were caught with their pants down, so to speak, when EPUBs or the e-readers came in, and they didn't want to switch over. They wanted to keep with hardbacks. They didn't make the digital move, and
there was this huge audience out there that
huge audience, and independent publishers, i.e., you and me, and all the small people came in and ate their lunch, and that's how the whole indie movement came about. And now this is going to be another movement, and I don't think, or I know, a lot of them are not making the same mistake. They might not be taking advantage of it as quickly, but they are not
taking
ignoring
it, but they are taking it
They're taking
seriously.
it seriously. They are not ignoring it. So if
So
you think they are boycotting it, they are not using it, that is incorrect. We have talked to people in
if you
these.
think those loud voices, if you really think those loud voices that say they shouldn't do it and that everything is failing in the courts, every time somebody tries to sue, it all falls within common
Fair use,
use
yeah.
and fair use and everything. So there are these things that at some point we're going to run out of runway inside the courts, and I think that the people that that will be prepared for these sorts of things are going to be the people who end up kind of being able to ride the wave correctly. You know what I mean? They'll get caught up in it a little bit, but they'll be able to correct themselves. And those people, a lot of them, are over at the Future Fiction Academy. My name is Ikello Herod, and I am a published author only because of the Future Fiction Academy. Absolutely, if it wasn't for them, I probably would still be sitting around and kicking the rocks and all of this stuff and looking. What do you mean? But every single we have weekly meetings, and every meeting everybody's like, "Get it published, get it published." Yeah, you did publish it, all right, didn't you? You know, and even when we're in like big classes, everyone's always being super encouraging and stuff like that. And so if I were y'all, I would go over there. I would go over to the Future Fiction Academy and take a look at all of our standalone classes. There's let me see. There's like there's free ones. If you really are like completely newbie and you have no clue how to use anything, there's a free class over there. If you don't have any money to maybe get Plot Drive, which by the way, it's plotdrive.com. Go over there if you want to get a 7-day free trial of Plot Drive. But if we have this thing called Raptorite, and Raptorite is completely free. All you have to do is get yourself a open router API, which we also explain in a free course right over there. So
Yep.
all of these things are over there. And one of those things is the thing we've been talking about today. Where did I go? Oh, there we go. $99. I was like, I kicked myself off of my own screen. Choosing a publishing niche using AI is only $99 today over at the Future Fiction Academy. We also have the easy peasy book machine. Build it, bend it, and break it down. It's $99. And we also have a wonderful course created by Harper. She knocked this one out of the park, and we had a live stream about it, and it did do a lot of sales back in the day. But I know for a fact that it's still an amazing course. And so what I want you to do is take a look at Romance Outlines with AI, because it was what she explained to me was that AI just writes lousy romance outlines. Just does. From, you can't just go into ChatGPT and go, write me an outline for romance and let's make it good. Put it trope.
It does try to do the external plot over the internal or the romance plot. It tries to do whatever the the business arrangement or the external plot is over the romance, which that's not the way it has to be in a romance.
And see, I wouldn't know that because I don't write romances. But if you wanted to, you could get this particular outline and it would give you a big foothold into the world of romance and how romance works. That's actually one of the hidden little things about this particular course, is that it teaches you how to write romance. All right. I just thought I would whisper that one so that you all understood it was an important thing. And then we have a course right now called Translations with AI for $499. A huge course talking specifically about writing one book and then publishing it multiple ways in multiple different ways. We have this thing inside of the FFA called the 25 and 25. And one of the basic concepts of the 25 and 25 is that 25 can be anything. So you can have 5 books with each one of those books having 5 translations each. And then that is your 25. And so, and there's all kinds of weird ways you can split that 25 up, maybe even audiobooks.
And the thing with translations is, like in German, they have a saying, like, it's all sausage to me or something. But what that means is, or I think it means, I'm not German and I don't speak German, but it means like whichever, or it's not a big deal or something like that. But if you translate that literally, it obviously makes no sense.
Right.
So you can't, just translations are difficult because then you have to translate things like the idioms. You have to, there's local, it's difficult.
Yes.
So that's where in the translation course, it's not just throw that into an AI and out comes French, out comes German.
Right.
Like there's a whole, look up double translations on Google and you'll get some hilarious songs where there's this woman that puts something into chat or something into, it was like just Google Translate a song into one language and translates it back into English. And it's hilarious, like how the song comes out. Just
and there's, and there's still some challenges. The whole reason that we made this course was because there are services out there, but we want to teach you how to fish.
Do it yourself, yeah.
We want to teach you how to fish so that you can, and you might actually learn a language while you're doing it. Especially
you don't have to learn the language or any language.
You don't have to learn the language, but imagine the ability to recognize those spots where you're like, because French is a little weird because of the feminine, masculine
Steph
things.
Teaches this course, and Steph speaks. Well, I know she speaks enough Japanese that she goes there several times once she goes there.
Yeah, and we actually had her on doing exactly what you're doing.
I know.
I know. You're like,
yeah.
All right. So, Stacie, I appreciate you showing up and doing this. I know it was like I wouldn't call it hard because you just seemed like you were bubbly and you floating around the room.
I know, but I'm such an introvert. Like you have to pull me out of my little cave to get me to do this.
I know, but it's you have any idea how both endorphin, how both alternately endorphin filled and completely exhausted you're gonna be after this? It's gonna be so much fun. Take my word for it.
No, just exhausted.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Stacy Anderson. She is one of our premier teachers over at the Future Fiction Academy. I'm Mikel O'Hara. Do me a favor, all you 15 people that are left. Would you mind liking this video right this second? Do me a favor, like the video, please. I forgot to tell all of those 23 people that were here earlier to do it. But if you do it, then we'll have the opportunity to spread the word, the good word of the Academy. All right, that's it. I'm very, very, geez, Louise. Really quick, everybody. Tomorrow, I've got a live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to talk about the accelerator, and you're going to be excited about that one. That's going to be a lot of fun to talk about.
Oh, and if you have any questions about classes and stuff, we do have free classes. You and Lynn both have free community classes,
which is going to be happening in just 2 hours from now.
Okay,
2 hours from now. No, 2 hours. Yes, 2 hours. Yeah. I think 2 hours. We've been on here for about an hour. Yet 2 hours from now, I have a community class. Go over to the futurefictionacademy.com and find the link. I'm telling you, you're going to. And don't know if I put it in the...
I just put it in the chat. So if you go there, it has the Zoom link and the calendar.
It's in the chat, everyone. All right, everyone. Oh, some people just got here. All right, you 19 people in here all of a sudden. Do me a favor, like this video, and so that we could spread the word that this even happened today. Thank you. And everyone is, thank you, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate it, you all. Everybody's saying thank you, Stacie, the live, and all of this stuff. And I appreciate all of you. We appreciate all of you. And we will see all of you, each and every one of you, in class. Talk to you later, everyone. Bye.
We will rise with every bow we share a new horizon. We're the architects of the digital dream. There's a future full of promise and it's within our grasp. So let's embrace